ain't never done it with trifling people who told me my style would not work. I told them they wrong, the struggling too long. This song is for you, I'm proving you wrong. Get out my way, get out my way, get out my way, get out my way. I'm a genuine person. Like if I love you, I love you. If I don't mess with you, I don't mess with you. It's as simple as that.
Early in the morning, I put breakfast at your table and make sure that your coffee has its sugar and cream. Your eggs are over easy, you're toasting like me. All that's missing is your morning kiss that used to greet me. Now you say the juice is sour, it used to be so sweet, and I can't help but to wonder if you're talking about me. We don't talk the way we used to talk, it's getting so deep. I've got my pride, I will not cry, but it's making me weak. I'm not your superwoman. I'm not the kind of girl that you can let down and think that everything's okay. Boy, I am only human. For you, but when you get there, you just tell me you're not hungry at all. You said you'd rather read the paper and you don't want to talk. You like to say that I'm just crazy when I said that you changed. I'm convinced I know the problem. You don't love me the same. You're just going through the motions and you're not being fair. I will not cry. Still I can't help but say, oh no, no, no. I'm not the kind of man that you can let down and think that everything's okay. Girl, I am only this man needs more than occasional hearts and a token of love from you too. I'm not the kind of man that you can. Don't let me down, don't let me down. Only good. This man needs more than occasional hearts and a token of love from you to me. Baby, look into the corners of your mind. I'll always be there for you through good and bad times, but I can't be the
that you want me to be. I give my love, the lasting love that will return to me. I'm not your Superman. Alexa, stop. Man, that's the song right there. What y'all know about that? What y'all know about that? If you know something about that song right there, put a 1 in the chat. If you ain't never heard that song before, put a 2 in the chat. If you done heard that song before right there, you know something about that, put a 1 in the chat. If you ain't never heard that before, it's your first time hearing it, put a 2 in the chat. Oh, somebody know. Oh, somebody knows. What? Somebody knows something about that. Okay. Cool. And somebody got the name Karen White. Okay, y'all own it. Welcome everybody to Atmos Love Zone Live. Let's see who we got up in here. Y'all ready? Miss Davis is first today. What's going on, Miss Davis? How you doing today? Miss Wilkins, hello. Hey, everybody. Have y'all seen the last video, Angela Wimbush? Oh, my gosh. Yes, I saw that. It was crazy. All right, let me see. Shay Jim is back. Shay, let me go ahead and drop the link. Let me drop the link to make sure y'all got it. So when we get into this, we can get straight to it. Let me do this here. Let me see. Go right here. Hold on. Let me drop this. Paste. Boom. There we go. So I'm going to post this in the chat and I'm going to pin it to the top. So all of my readers, y'all can just click the link and then we're going to get straight to it. Okay. Let me see who all up in here. So we got Shay. We got Jay McBride is back. Yes. Let me see here. Who we got? Tracy Wallace. Hey, she said, I'm here. I'm ready for it. That's what's up. Lynette. Hey, Miss Lynette Bew. How you doing? You got your tea? You ready for the tea? That's what's up. Miss Thomas is back. Riri. What's going on, Riri? Riri, you know, I miss your reading. You only blessed us one day, and you were just so good, and then you just going to bounce on me like that. But it's all good. I got the link at the top, so whoever wants to read, the people that say they can read, I would appreciate it if you click that link and get up in here. All right, let me see. T-Bam, what's going on? Let me see here. Who else up in here? Let me see. BBP. What up, BBP? How you doing? All right, let me see. A2L 1908 is back. What's going on? Let me see. Unapologetically Hebrew. Hey, LD. Hey. All right, Michelle Smiling. How you doing, Michelle Smiling? All right, Geechee girl is in the building. Let me see. Who else? Just Videos. What's up, Just Videos? Karen Johnson in the house. Neat 3T. Let me see. Nisha Jones. What's up? Angela Anderson. Brown-eyed Nurse. How you doing? All right. I got you in. What's up, Beloise? You got your mute on, Beloise. Go ahead and take your mute off. All right, West Coast Bells in the building. What's up, Beloise?
Hi.
Hey, let me do these shout outs right quick. So Oakland in the building, Lanice in the building. Let me see. Boom. Elijah Britton, how you doing? Welcome to the channel. First time seeing you here. Welcome. All right, who else we got up in here, y'all? Man, y'all, listen, y'all. Hey, listen, for real, on some realness, though. Atmos can sing for real, though. Y'all think I just be playing, but I can hold a note or two. Sharon Connor, what's going on? Welcome. Never seen you here before. Welcome. Maybe I did see you here. I think I did. Maybe I did. I'm sorry if I did. You maybe this video said that. They said that's just it. Man, I was feeling it, man. So Oakland said, why you stop? Let me see. If I missed anybody. Shirley. Hey, Shirley. How you doing? Vanetta M, how are you? All right, y'all. We about to get to it. Netta Boo, Rosalind Baxter, how you doing? Udea Israel, how you doing? What first time seeing you here? Welcome. What up, J-Man? Okay, y'all, let's get straight to it. I don't think I missed nobody. Miss Raina, how are you? And we are ready to go. Kanza, 100 devices. Jacqueline Jones. Okay, we ready, y'all. So check this out. Before we get started, is
A2L.
Oh, welcome. Never seen you here before.
What's
Well,
up?
maybe I did see you here. I think I did. Maybe I did. I'm sorry if I didn't. This video saying
What's
that.
going on?
Man, I was feeling it, man. So
Okay.
I said, why you stop?
Man, we ready to roll tonight.
Let's see if I missed anybody. Shirley, hey, Shirley, how you doing? Vanetta M, how are you?
Turn down your
All right,
YouTube.
y'all about to
Turn
get
down
to
your
it.
other
Nettle,
device. A2L.
Rosalind Baxter, how you doing?
What's up, Shay?
You did Israel. How you doing? What first
Yeah,
time
you
seeing you
good.
here? Welcome. What up, J-Man? Okay, y'all, let's get straight to it. I don't think I missed nobody. Miss Raina, how are you? And we are
let
ready
me stop
to
my
go.
YouTube in the background.
100 devices.
Okay,
Jacqueline
you stop your
Jones.
YouTube in the
Okay, we
background.
ready, y'all. So
I
check
think
this out.
A2L, you stop her
Before we
YouTube
get started,
too, in the background.
it's A2L. Oh, welcome. Never seen you before. What's up? Maybe I did see you here. I think I did. Maybe I did. I'm sorry if I did.
Together, I promise. Close y'all YouTube. Close y'all YouTube.
Man, I was feeling it, man.
What's up, CS20 Vision? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Go to Animal 5. Hello. Somebody close up. Let's mute let's mute.
What's up, Shay? How you doing? What first time seeing you here? Welcome. What up, J-Man? Okay, y'all. Missed nobody.
A2L, it's you. I just muted your mic, A2L. It won't you, Shay. Call back in, Shay. A2L, it's you. Turn off your YouTube.
Before we get started,
Yeah, because when I mute her mic, I was like, who's the dude that's repeating that? Yeah, I'm going to have to mute him. Okay, that's true. Okay, T-Bam. I will. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, I'm going to have to mute her. Shay, call back in. Call back in, Shay. Hold up. Yeah, A2L, turn down or turn your YouTube off in the background. Turn your YouTube off. All right, y'all. So let me go ahead and pull these scripts up so we can get straight to it. Before we get started, I want us to see one little thing. Hold on. Who came back? Let me see. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, Shay, you good. Yours.
Okay, I thought something was wrong with my audio because I was hearing the feedback, but it wasn't me.
You check A2L now. A2L.
Yeah, I have to mute him. Okay, that's true. Okay, T-Bam. I will.
Okay, yeah. So A2L still got a device on. One of her 100 devices. Okay?
Yeah, I got confused. I thought it was me. I was like,
Nope.
oh, shoot.
Y'all good. Let me see. Hold on. A2L, can you hear me? Hold up. Yeah, A2L, turn down or turn your YouTube off in the background. Turn your YouTube off. All right, y'all. So let me go ahead and pull these scripts up. All right, I'm gonna let her get it together. All right, so y'all, I want y'all to see this before we get started. Thank y'all, ladies, for coming on. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
You're
for
welcome.
having
Thank
me.
you for the opportunity.
Hello, everyone.
Awesome.
Hello, everyone.
All right, let me see who that was. Hold up. A2L, you good?
A2L, I have to mute him. Okay, that's true. Okay, T-Bam.
All right, I gotta mute her. Okay, when she get it, I'm gonna get her back in here. Okay, y'all, I want y'all to see this right quick before we get started. Let me go ahead and share my screen, and then we're gonna get straight to this. Give me one moment here. Let's watch this.
Welcome back as RKelly sits behind bars awaiting, sentencing next year for his conviction of sex trafficking and racketeering in New York. Other legal battles are mounting. The disgraced singer is facing a laundry list of state and more federal charges. He'll face them in his hometown of Chicago, and that's where we find Xavier Pope, an award-winning attorney who will talk about what is at stake next for the 54-year-old singer, now convicted felon. Thanks so much for joining us. I guess we'll start here. Before we get into the cases, we do want to ask how people in RKelly's hometown of Chicago are reacting to the news of this conviction, because there were many who do not see this day, even now, coming.
Yeah, it's a pretty big day here in Chicago.
particularly all the women that may have been victimized by R. Kelly's pattern of behavior, all the women who have been heard in stories, allowed to just languish over years and years, and never thought they'd see the light of day and justice be served. It's a big day for them here in Chicago. This has been something that's pretty much been an open secret in Chicago for quite some time. So to see this happen is huge. There are obviously R. Kelly fans who love his music, who are going to be against whatever comes up, and that's just a different group of individuals that I just can't even put a rhyme or reason to. But it's a big day for victims, and victims being heard, particularly Black women being heard with R. Kelly finally being victim.
You have Black women who many would argue the Me Too movement seems to have escaped them. R. Kelly is facing federal child porn, obstruction of justice charges in Chicago. Tell us about the history of these charges. What can we expect to see?
What we can expect to see proof, there's potentially evidence that he was on tape in terms of the conversation about bribing a Cook County official, in terms of looking at his case, and also as well as using another one of his victims to research child pornography. And so those are pretty scurrilous charges against R. Kelly. And it's just a mountain of pattern of behavior and different individuals used to commit some of these crimes. Really heinous stuff. And he's facing a world of trouble right now.
Yeah, he is. And, you know, he's always denied the allegations. We know that he put on a defense. It didn't seem to anywhere near mount the level that the prosecution unfolded in that Brooklyn courtroom, Attorney Pope. But based on the conviction there in New York, what does it say about a pattern of practice here, the behaviors that some say he engaged in for decades?
I think that's a great question. And I think it speaks to exactly how he was convicted in the Brooklyn courthouse for federal charges in New York. Essentially, the Mann Act was used to be able to bring in terms of escaping the statute of limitations in terms of some of the charges, because some of them go back quite a way. But when the federal government was able to see how he was able to use individuals and create a criminal enterprise, it wasn't just the abuse of these women, it was using handlers and people around him to be able to accomplish some of these objectives in multiple states. Then they were able to put together a case that would encapsulate this enterprise that's usually used to convict mob bosses. And R. Kelly's criminal enterprise involve sexual assault and abuse of women and young boys.
As an attorney, an extraordinary one yourself, do you have any concern? You know, as you mentioned, there are still supporters. There are people who rightly have an issue with the justice system, injustice for so many Black and brown people. Do you have any concern with the resources that the federal government unleashed here on R. Kelly, or was it justified?
Let's look at it here. R. Kelly's victims were young Black women, girls, and boys. So we look at the justice system as it relates to Black men and Black women. We want to be able to have Black victims heard, their cases, to be able to have restitution and justice for them. And I think that's the most important thing. And not looking at another Black man being railroaded. You spoke, as you led up to the segment, about Bill Cosby's representatives standing up for R. Kelly. We shouldn't have sexual assault predators sticking up for sexual assault predators as if that makes them innocent of what's going on. So no, I think that we should look at the system of those that are wrongfully accused, not those that have abused the system.
We have plenty of time to spend on those who've been wrongly convicted. We only have about 10 seconds. They're going to get on me for this, but is there a chance, with everything that R. Kelly is still facing, sentencing for the federal conviction now in May, that he'll never get out?
He has to sit in jail for another 7 months after being in jail since 2019. It's a really tough chance for R. Kelly. He may see the rest of his life behind jail cell.
All right, Xavier Pope, love having you on the show. Extraordinary legal mind. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, there you have it. There you have it. Okay, y'all. Listen, we're about to get into this. Let me pull up this transcript. Finish at page. I know we were still in the direct with John Doe number 2. 3355. Let me get there.
Excuse me, Atmos, can you hear me? You sound really low.
Hold on. Give me one moment. Yes, I hear you. I hear all. So Tanya, say hello. Hello? Tanya?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Y'all can't
Hello?
hear me? Yeah.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Y'all can't hear me? Am I volume?
Yeah, your volume is back up now, but it was very low.
Okay.
You sound better now.
Y'all hear me now?
Better. Yes.
Hold on. Let me turn my volume. Now, y'all know I got the biggest mouth on YouTube. I'm going to try to turn. Let me see if I can turn it up a little bit. Let me see.
You sound good. Can you hear me?
Yes, you sound perfect.
Okay. Yeah, you sound good.
Yeah, my volume's all the way up, y'all. So hopefully y'all can hear me. Okay, that's better. Okay, everybody said great. Okay, so let's do a sound check. Bella Louise, say hello.
Hello.
Shay.
Hello.
Tanya.
Hello.
Perfect. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do, y'all. So for this here, we are starting at. Let me share the screen. Hold on. Let me share this here. Share. Okay, everybody said it's better now. Okay, great. All right, y'all. We about to get into this. It's about to be off the chain. Okay, so we starting at 3355. Okay, so what we'll do is, Tanya, you can read the lawyer.
Okay.
Shay, if you don't mind being I'm gonna be the dude, the dude. So Shay, if you could be the government.
Okay.
Hold on. What did I say? Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. You be no. Tanya, you be the lawyer. You be the government. Shay, if you could be the judge.
Okay.
I'll be John Doe number 2. And if you could, let me see. If you could read all the intermediate stuff, hold on. Make sure I got all y'all here. Okay, Bella Louise. Yes. You know, like when the guy says all rise, yes. all that stuff. That'll be great. Okay. Will that work?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So everybody see where they at. We about to get this thing going. So A, that is the witness. That's me. Q would be Tanya. And then Shay, you'll be the judge. And then Eloise, I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep murdering your name. Bella Louise, you'll be like the intermediate when they say, matter of fact, let me see, boom. Any other females are coming like a Becker speaks, you can speak for her. And then we'll switch out different roles as the night go on, okay?
I understand.
Okay, y'all. So what's up, The Truth? How you doing? Okay, all right, y'all. So check this out. Hey, G. Darden, how are you? Lanice Robinson, hey. I'm trying not to miss nobody. Okay, perfect. So we're going to get started. If you would, we'll start right here at the top of 3355. We'll start with the defendant, where the defendant says the defendant. Okay, line 2. Y'all all with me?
Ready.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay, perfect. Let's go. The defendant.
And who, if anyone, told the individual in 69B what to do during these encounters?
The defendant.
I am showing you what's in evidence as Government Exhibit 75. Do you recognize this person?
Correct.
Is this one of the females that the defendant directed?
I'm sorry. So, Bella Louise, that's what you were coming with, said like exhibit published.
Okay.
All that little stuff.
Okay. Exhibit published.
Okay. Correct.
Is this one of the females that the defendant directed you to engage in sexual acts with?
Correct.
Was that once or more than once?
It was more than once.
And at the time of these sexual encounters, did you know this person's name?
Nah.
And what types of acts did the defendant direct you to engage in?
Sexual.
With this person?
Sexual acts.
Including penetration?
Yes.
And by that, I mean sexual intercourse.
Yes.
And during those encounters with this individual in Government Exhibit 75, who directed you, who, if anyone, directed what you should be doing during these encounters?
The defendant.
And who, if anyone, directed what the individual in Government Exhibit 75 should be doing during these encounters?
The defendant.
Were these encounters with this individual recorded?
Yes.
And how were they recorded?
Can I just ask, is it fair to say that for all of these people that you're describing, you were instructed to do the same types of sexual acts?
Correct.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you.
Let me ask one more question. Sorry. And is it also fair to say for all the members there were recording
100%.
on an iPad?
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm showing you Government Exhibit 78. Do you recognize this person?
Yes.
Exhibit published.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Eloise. Bella Louise, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Exhibit published.
Yes.
And is this one of the females that the defendant directed you to engage in sexual acts with?
Correct.
Once or more than once?
More than once.
I'm showing you what's in evidence as Government Exhibit 76. Do you recognize this person?
Exhibit published.
She looks familiar, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
I mean, I recognize.
Where do you think she looks familiar from?
One time from Miami.
And what happened in Miami?
I mean, in the room. I mean, sexual intercourse with a young lady and a defendant.
Fair to say she looks familiar, but you're not sure if that's the same or if that's the person
That's fair to say.
that you engaged in a sexual act with.
Very fair to say.
But was there a female in Miami that you engaged in sexual acts with at the defendant's direction?
Correct.
And again, was this recorded?
Correct.
And at the time of these acts, fair to say, like all the others, you didn't know the female's name.
No, it's fair to say.
Now, during these encounters with these females and the defendant, how did the females appear to you during these encounters?
Objection.
Well, I'll sustain it as to form. Are you asking about demeanor and things like that?
Yes.
All right. Describe what you noticed about all or some of the women that you discussed so far.
I don't know, like zombie-ish.
Apart from telling you what sexual acts to engage in with these women, what, if any, what other types of things would the defendant tell you and the females during these encounters?
Can you rephrase that?
Sure. I think you testified he would direct what acts,
Yes, correct.
sexual acts, should happen. Is that fair to say?
Correct.
And other than that, would he also tell you, other than, have sex or give oral or whatever, did he also direct you in other ways or say other things during these encounters?
Yeah, like, we kissing or do it like, we mean it, things like that.
And when he said, do it like you mean it, was that only in reference to kissing or other things as well?
I mean, just other things. Like, he might tell us to moan, like moan like you mean it or something like that.
Now, I think just going back for a moment to the first sexual encounter you had, the first time there was a female brought into the room by the defendant in Olympia Fields, I think you mentioned on that occasion you remember some lights. Is that right?
Yes.
And an iPad. Is that correct?
Yes.
And do you remember any other recording equipment on that occasion?
Just that the recorder I mentioned.
Which recorder was that? What type of recorder?
Just like a regular video recorder on a tripod.
Now, after your sexual encounters with the defendant or with these other women and the defendant, were there times the defendant gave you something?
I mean, yeah. I mean, he gave me a few dollars,
And what do you mean by a few dollars?
I mean, he slap 100 or two in my hand, just for my time and my gas and everything.
Were there ever times you traveled to see the defendant?
I believe twice in Atlanta and once in Miami.
And approximately when do you recall those two times that you traveled to Atlanta? Approximately when was that?
Around 2014.
And how about when you traveled to Miami? Approximately when was that?
It was approximately 2017.
And who paid for that travel to Atlanta and Miami?
The defendant.
And did you stay at a hotel?
Correct.
And did he pay for the hotel?
Correct.
And who made those arrangements for you?
Some lady. I believe her name was Diana, his assistant.
And who put you in touch with Diana?
The defendant.
How, if at all, did you communicate with Diana?
Strictly text.
Did you ever meet Diana in person?
Nah.
When you traveled to see the defendant, what was the purpose of the travel?
Sexual.
And did you engage in sexual encounters during those trips?
Correct.
With the defendant?
Yes, correct.
And how about with any others?
Yes, correct.
Other females?
Yes.
Okay. During the time you knew the defendant, did he ever invite you to any of his concerts?
Nah.
Did he ever take you out anywhere publicly?
Nah.
Now, you mentioned you went to parties at Olympia Fields. Did you also sometimes go to parties at the defendant's studios?
Correct.
And do you recall what types of parties you went to at the studio?
I mean, just regular night parties, what I'm saying, he would throw. Friday night, regular Friday, Saturday night parties, that he would, throw over the weekend.
Now, you mentioned earlier that you traveled to Atlanta twice and Miami, or that you recall traveling to those locations to see the defendant, correct?
Correct.
At any of those locations, do you recall the defendant telling you anything about what you should tell people? Who you should tell the people you are?
Yeah. That I was his stylist.
And what do you recall him telling you about that?
Just if anybody ever asked, he He said, "You my stylist."
Over the time you knew the defendant, were there times when you distanced yourself from him?
Yeah.
And why did you distance yourself from him?
I mean, I was just like feeling used, abused, lied to. I mean, so many emotions, you know what I'm saying? Like so many for different times.
Did this happen more than once?
Correct.
Do you recall around what time periods that this happened?
Yes, 2015, 2016, and half of 2017.
Now, did those periods of distance last?
No.
Why not?
I mean, my best friend at the time, he would reach out to him and, try to get in contact with me and every time.
And when you say your best friend, are you
Lewis.
referring to Lewis? And when you say he would reach out to him, who is the he in that sentence? And who is the him in that sentence?
The defendant will reach out to Lewis.
And reach out to him for what?
To tell me to call him or just get in contact with him.
To tell you to call the defendant?
Yes.
Have you ever stolen anything from the defendant?
Yes.
What did you steal?
Some cash.
Approximately how much money did you steal from the defendant?
It was about 8,000.
And do you recall around when that happened?
Around 2013.
And where did you steal that money from?
Out his backpack.
And how did that come about? Why were you at his backpack?
I mean, I think I was in his backpack to retrieve an iPad or something.
And what if anything, is that where you noticed cash inside of his backpack?
Yes.
And do you recall anything about what the backpack looked like?
It was a designer backpack. Could have been like a Gucci backpack.
After you met, going back to when you met the defendant back in high school, did the defendant ever tell you he would look out for you?
All the time.
And what did he say to you?
I mean, how he got me, you know what I'm saying? Like, how he will give me a job, or like, make me his hype man. You know what I'm saying? Just things like that.
And when the defendant began telling you this, was that before or after your first sexual encounter with him?
Both.
And did that ever happen?
Nah.
I would like to direct your attention to the year 2011. Were you arrested that year?
Yes.
And what were you arrested for?
At the time, it was a robbery, but it was theft.
Did you end up pleading guilty to theft?
Yeah.
And following your arrest, were you immediately released on bond, or did you spend some time in jail?
No, I spent some time in jail.
And were you eventually released on bond?
Yes.
After about how long?
About 4 months.
And who, if anyone, posted your bond to get you released?
My mom.
What, if anything, did you learn about the defendant providing money for your bond?
I mean, I learned that he had gave my best friend at the time money towards my bond, and that my mom never received.
And when you say your best friend, are you referring to Lewis?
Yes.
And who did you learn that from?
The defendant and from Mr. Lewis.
After that, what, if anything, happened regarding your friendship with Lewis?
Man, it's sour.
Did you stop speaking to Lewis for a period of time?
Correct.
And did you eventually start speaking with Lewis again?
Correct.
Are you familiar with the docuseries Surviving R. Kelly?
Yes, I
am. Did you see the defendant after Surviving R. Kelly aired on television?
Yes.
And where did you see him?
Where did I see him? I seen him on several occasions.
Okay. Did there come a point, though, where you saw the defendant at his residence in Trump Tower?
Yes.
In 2019?
Yes.
And how did it come about that you were at the defendant's apartment in Trump Tower on that occasion?
I mean, he said he needed me to do something for him and stop on by.
When you say he, are you referring to the defendant?
To the defendant, yes.
And after you arrived at the defendant's apartment at Trump Tower, what happened?
I mean, I gets there, and he need me like to write something for him.
And what did the defendant tell you he needed you to write for him?
Pretty much like just saying that we had no sexual relationship with each other.
Did you write the letter the defendant asked you to write?
Yes.
And did the defendant ask you to sign the letter?
Correct.
Who decided? Who, if anyone, decided what would be written in that letter?
I mean, he told me word for word.
When you say
word for word, the defendant.
The defendant. And after you wrote and signed that letter, who, if anyone, did you give it to?
The defendant.
Was what you wrote in the letter false?
Correct.
Why did you write the letter?
Just for him.
Did you receive a subpoena to be here today?
Correct.
Do you want to be here today testifying about these matters?
Ah.
Have you ever spoken publicly about these matters before today?
No.
No further questions.
Cross-examination?
Yes, ma'am. All right, so let me see. So I wonder if I should just go and do Canic and do him at the same time. Do I got a gentleman in the chat that wants to read the male part, or Luis, do you want to read since you didn't have many speaker parts, do you want to read?
It doesn't matter. What do you want me to do, guys?
Yeah, read him. I'll be Canic.
Or I could do a man voice if you want.
Oh.
Who just did that?
Shay.
Shay. That was good.
If you yeah,
that was good.
If you want to, Shay, you can. And then you be the judge.
Okay.
All right. All right. And then and what you can do, Tanya, you just be the intermediate part, like like reading the exhibits and stuff like that, if we have any, okay?
Sure, you got it.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'll be Canic. You testified and told us about being arrested for robbery.
Yes.
When was that?
Around 2012.
That was 2012. Were you arrested along with Lewis for that robbery? Am I correct?
Correct.
Yes. You and Lewis robbed somebody. Am I correct?
Not somebody, but a business. Yes.
A business.
Yes.
Okay, and what did you take from the business?
Cash.
Cash.
Yes.
How much cash?
I don't know.
How old were you?
I was 20, probably 22.
Okay, and Rob didn't direct you to do that. Am I correct?
No.
Rob didn't instruct you to do that. Am I correct?
Not at all.
In fact, you and Lewis did that on your own. Am I correct?
Yeah, I did it as a favor for Lewis. Yes.
You did it as a favor.
Yes.
So Lewis asked you for a favor and you did it.
Took some real pulling, but yes.
Took some real pulling, but he pulled you. It took some pulling, but you did it. How did you get in the place?
A key.
A key? How did you get a key?
From Lewis.
Lewis? How did Lewis get a key?
He worked there.
Huh. How was you caught? How were you caught?
Lewis came back for his last check.
So Lewis set up the place that he worked for.
Yeah.
And you, after that, you stole. At some point, you stole from Mr. Kelly?
Yeah, correct.
And Lewis stole from Mr. Kelly. Am I correct?
Objection.
Did you see anything like that?
So I'll say yes.
Well, yes, you'll say yes because he stole from him. Am I correct?
Yeah, he stole a camera before I left. That's how I know that.
And according to you, he stole the bail money that Mr. Kelly put up.
Yes, correct.
Would you call him a thief?
Objection.
Sustain.
Would you call yourself a thief?
Objection.
Sustain.
Now you testified and told us that you got Mr. Kelly's number when you were in your junior year of high school.
Objection. Junior high school or junior in high school?
Junior year in high school.
Okay,
Okay, what?
correct.
Well, how old were you in your junior year in high school?
When I met Mr. Kelly, I was 16.
No. I'm not asking you when you met Mr. Kelly. I'm asking you, how old were you when you were in your junior year in high school?
I was 16, going on 17.
And how old were you when you got Mr. Kelly's number?
17.
Okay, are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive.
You pretty positive.
Yeah.
Would it surprise you that I told, or would it surprise you that you told the government that you meant when you got his number that you didn't get his number until around 2009?
No, false.
What? I said what? That's false, right? I can barely hear you. Your volume is way low. Shay.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. I couldn't hear the last three things you said. Okay.
Okay. I said yes.
Okay. Didn't happen, right?
What you mean?
That if it's in here and the government wrote down that you told them that you got Mr. Kelly's number around 2009, that would be false. Am I correct?
No, I didn't get his number around 2009.
Right. Because you would have been 19 at that time. Am I correct?
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm. I want you to look at this document and see if it refreshes your recollection that you told the government that this was around 2009?
Does that mean it's
So
not?
that's gonna be Shay, I believe.
Yeah.
The prospective juror?
Yeah, somebody put a that's a typo.
Oh, okay. It's not gonna reflect. I don't remember saying it. It's saying 2009.
Without even looking at it.
Just take a look at it and see if it refreshes your recollection. And just questions, Mr. Kenny, not statements.
Right.
Pause.
Down at the bottom, in the highlighted yellow portion, you read it.
No response.
Did you read it?
Correct.
Does it refresh your recollection that you told the government it was in 2009 that you got Mr. Kelly's number?
Do you understand the question?
Yeah, I understand the question.
Okay. So he wants to know if it refreshes your recollection.
No, but I didn't get his number in 2009, so I don't know what happened with that statement.
But you read it in that document, am I correct?
Correct.
Now, the document said you told them that you got it and got Mr. Kelly's number in 2009. Am I correct?
Objection.
Sustain as to form. It doesn't refresh his recollection.
It's written in the document that you got Mr. Kelly's number.
Objection.
Sustain.
You interviewed with the government, am I correct?
Correct.
And you were the one who gave the information about when it was that you supposedly got Mr. Kelly's number. Am I correct?
Correct.
Now, these things that you said that happened between you and Mr. Kelly sexually, how old were you?
I was around 20.
You were 20 years old or older. Is that a yes or a no, sir?
I said I was 20 years old.
You were at least 20 years old.
Yeah, I was at least 20 years old. Yes.
And then you testified and told us about Mr. Kelly, according to you, directed you to be involved in a sexual encounter with a female.
Correct.
How old were you the first time that happened?
20.
20 as well.
Yes.
Now, and you testified and told us that there came a point in time that you had a sexual encounter, according to you, at Mr. Kelly's direction with, may I see the photograph 75? Is it on your monitor?
Yes.
You testified and told us that Mr. Kelly directed you, according to you, to have sex with this person.
Exhibit published.
Correct.
When you had sex with this person, did you or did you use a condom?
Sometimes not. No.
But sometimes you didn't. Am I correct?
Yes.
And you testified that Mr. Kelly also asked you or instructed you, according to you, to have sex with a number of females.
Correct.
And do you recall having sex with these females with a condom?
Sometimes there wasn't a condom.
But most of the times, there was no condom, according to you.
Yeah. I mean, not most of the time. Most of the time, it probably was with a condom.
Oh, so most of the time it was with a condom.
It probably less time than without a condom.
Oh, okay. Your Honor, if the court would just bear me a few minutes.
Sure.
Pause.
Did you ever work for Mr. Kelly?
No,
Never ironed his clothes or anything like that.
no,
And you testified that there were times that you tried that you distanced yourself from Mr. Kelly.
true, correct.
And then you went back because of a phone call or something like that.
Yes,
And you did that on your own choosing. Am I correct?
correct.
Your Honor, I'm trying to find a document. Just
That's all right.
Pause.
and you weren't paid to be his personal shopper.
Correct. I'm sorry. No. One time I shopped for him from his request.
Okay, now during your interview with the government, didn't you tell the government that Kelly hired you to pick out his clothes day to day and assist in his wardrobe for his concert? Didn't you tell that to the government?
Those are the things he wanted me to.
Beg your pardon.
Those are the things he wanted me to say that I did.
But that's what you told the government. Am I correct?
Yeah, I told.
Mr. Kelly wasn't there with you at the government's office.
You have a lot to, you have to let him finish answering.
Okay.
And then you can.
Mr. Kelly wasn't with you at the government's office when you were giving this interview. Am I correct?
Correct.
You were there alone with the U.S. Marshals. Am I correct?
Objection.
I need a fork.
Overrule.
No.
Overrule. Do you know who was there?
Yes. Some agents, but not marshals. I don't think they marshals.
Okay,
So,
so you were there with some federal agents.
yes.
You were there with some federal lawyers.
Okay.
Okay, what?
Yeah, true.
But you weren't there with Mr. Kelly.
Correct.
You were giving them information.
Yes.
Them being government officials that you just spoke of.
Correct.
And when you gave them this information, isn't it a fact that you told them that during 2012 to 2004, that Kelly paid you? I assume that's supposed to be 2014. I could be wrong. That Kelly paid you to be his personal shopper. Kelly hired you to pick out his clothes for day-to-day wear and wardrobe, his concert. Didn't you tell them that?
No. He told me to lie and say I did those things. But I did pick out his clothes once.
So you lied to a federal agent.
No, those are things he told me that I did.
Well, if he told you and it wasn't true, then it's a lie.
I'm telling them what he told me.
No. My question is, he wasn't in the room when you were telling the federal government this. Am I correct?
No, correct.
You were sitting right there in front of him. Am I correct?
Correct.
You were giving them information. Am I correct?
Correct.
Mr. Kelly was no place to be found. Am I correct?
Correct.
So when they asked you about what you were doing for him, you told them that he hired you to be his personal shopper.
Yeah, when you brainwashed along, yeah.
Oh, you were brainwashed now.
You brainwashed along. That's how.
Okay. How long were you brainwashed, sir? You were brainwashed for how long, sir?
Objection.
You can't object. Do you understand the question?
No, I don't. I don't know how. I don't know what time.
You want an objection, don't you?
Do you want to put another question?
No, Your Honor. I'm done with this one.
I overrule his objection. No more questions.
I'm done.
Any redirect?
Yes.
Okay.
So I guess now I'll go. You know what? Y'all can keep it going. Y'all two. I'll be the judge. I'll be the Y'all go ahead. Y'all three. Go ahead and roll.
You gotta bring it up.
So, I'm sorry. Don't pull up. Okay, go ahead.
The first time you met with federal agents, they came to your home, correct?
Correct.
And you had no idea they found you, correct? How they found you, correct?
No idea.
Were you expecting them?
No.
When they came?
No.
And you told them, I think you testified on cross-examination. Did you tell them that you told them things the defendant had told you to say previously? Is that right?
Correct.
And previously, the defendant had told you to say these things.
Hold on.
If anybody asked you. Oh, wait.
You skip.
Oh, that you were his stylist? I'm sorry.
Correct.
And previously, the defendant had told you to say these things if anybody asked, right?
Correct.
Nothing further.
Anything else?
Just one thing.
Only one?
Give me 4.
Love it.
All right, let's get it. Cross-examination. When these agents came to you, they introduced themselves as federal Martians or federal agents.
As what?
Federal agents.
No. I was at a home at the time.
No. At some point in time, you met them.
Yeah.
And they introduced themselves to you as federal agents. Am I correct?
Homeland Security or something.
Yes, Homeland Security, right?
Right.
You understand that they were federal agents, am I correct?
Correct.
And they also told you that making a false statement to them was a crime. Am I correct?
Correct. No.
Oh, they didn't tell you that.
They didn't tell me nothing like that. No.
Oh, okay. No more questions, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else?
Nothing further.
All right. Thank you so much. You can step down.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Judge.
How is everyone doing? Good? Do you want a break? All right. So a few people want a break. We'll break for. Do you want to go to or do you don't?
Yes.
All right. All rise. Everybody have a seat. Do you have another witness?
Yes.
And who is the witness?
Alice at Mayweather.
Oh, could I see the parties at the side for just a second?
Sidebar held off the record with court and counsel only.
We're in recess. Tell me the name of the witness. So there are some exhibits that this next witness is going to testify about. They're in the form of text messages that she sent to various people, I guess.
That's correct. There are text messages that she sent to her sister and a coworker and a friend about her employment with the defendant while he was working for him, while she was working for him.
And you have no objection, is that right, Mr. Cannon?
None.
What is the number?
They're in the 240 series.
I think we can get to the witness and then we can get to the jury and we'll see how far we get.
Jury enters. Courtroom deputy, you may be seated.
Okay, everybody, we are ready to continue. Do you want to call your next witness?
Yes, the government calls Alice at Mayweather.
Witness takes a stand.
Raise your right hand.
Have a seat. Please state your name for the record. All right, so how about we do this? Tanya, if you can be Alice at Mayweather.
Okay.
Shay, can you switch to the government? And
Okay.
Beloise, can you be the judge, please? And I'll be the intermediate person, state candidate.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Alice at Mayweather, called by the government, having been first duly sworn, was examined and testifies as follows.
Just a couple of things before you start. The microphone is on, isn't it? The key thing is, want to be sure that everybody can hear you. Make sure you use the microphone. Don't speak too quickly. I want to be sure that the court reporter can get down everything you say. If there's a question that isn't clear or you want it repeated, tell me and I'll redirect the lawyers to rephrase it. And do your best job to answer the question that you are being asked.
Did you receive a subpoena to testify here today?
I did.
Do you want to be here today?
Absolutely not.
I'm showing you what's in evidence as Government Exhibit 1. Do you recognize the individual shown in Government Exhibit 1?
I do.
Who is that?
It's Robert.
Do you know him personally?
I do.
Do you see him in the courtroom today?
I do.
Can you point to him and describe an article of his clothing?
He has on a gray suit.
Indicating the defendant.
I want to direct your attention to 2015. What was your relationship to the defendant at that time?
I was a friend.
Did you start? Go ahead.
And then I later became an employee.
And what type of employee were you with the defendant?
Personal assistant.
For how long were you a personal assistant for the defendant?
Formerly about 8 months.
And do you recall when you formally became his personal assistant?
It was around December of that year.
of 2015?
Yeah, 2015.
Okay. And do you recall when you stopped working as his personal assistant?
Somewhere in June of 2016.
And prior to formally starting to work for the defendant, did you accompany him on some bus trips while he was on tour?
I did.
Do you have any siblings?
I do.
How many?
One.
How old is she compared to you?
We're twins.
And do you have a nickname?
Yes.
What is that?
Twin.
Now, you testified that you formally started working for the defendant at the end of 2015. When did you meet him approximately?
Sometime in the late 90s.
And how did you meet him?
Through mutual friends.
Okay. Prior to being introduced to him through mutual friends, had you attended an RKelly concert?
I had, yes.
And would you consider yourself a fan?
Yes.
Before you started to work for the defendant, either on an informal or formal basis, where did you see the defendant?
Where did I see him?
Yes, just generally speaking, where would you see the defendant?
At shows, at parties,
And where did you attend parties?
at his house or the studio.
Where was he? What house did you attend parties at?
Olympia Fields.
Is that a suburb of Chicago?
Yes.
And you testified that you also went to some parties at his studios. Is that correct?
Yeah, I did.
Or you saw him at his studio?
I saw him at a studio, yes.
Which studios do you recall seeing the defendant at?
His studio in downtown Chicago, and then, of course, the Justine studio.
Okay. At the second studio that you mentioned, was that a studio on Justine Street?
Yes.
Also in Chicago.
Yes.
Now, when you started to work for the defendant, what was your schedule?
2 weeks on, 2 weeks off.
And when you were on a 2 week break or you were on a 2 week break not working, who was working and performing your job?
My sister.
Your twin sister?
My twin sister.
What were your responsibilities as a personal assistant for the defendant?
Just basically taking care of his daily needs, whether it was running errands, making sure he was awake for meetings, when someone would come to the studio.
While you were working for the defendant, did you accompany him on any tours?
I did.
Which tour or tours did you go on?
One was the buffet tour, and I think some other dates were just dates. I'm not sure if it was an actual tour.
So, in addition to accompanying the defendant on the buffet tour, did you also go to other cities where he was playing at just these one-off concerts?
I did, yeah.
And when you were on tour with the defendant or going to the other cities where he was performing while you were working, scroll, for minimum, what would you attend the concerts?
Yes.
And what, if any, responsibilities did you have during those concerts?
Just making sure his guests were seated where they needed to be seated, or making sure he needed what he needed.
And what you're referring to in your last answer, when you refer to guests, what type of guests are you referring to?
Any guests that were invited to the show, or his girlfriends.
I'm showing you what's in evidence as Government Exhibit 75.
Exhibit published.
Without saying this individual's name, do you recognize her?
Yes.
And do you know her first and last name?
Yes.
And I'm showing the jury only what's in evidence is 75A.
Published to the jury only.
Okay. Is that same photograph shown in Government Exhibit 75 with the true first and last name of that individual?
Yes.
For today, we're going to call her Jane, okay?
Okay.
Where did you first meet Jane?
New York.
And through whom did you meet Jane?
Through Rob.
And what happened? Where did you meet her?
It would have been of his shows at the Barclay, but initially it was he and my sister were on a FaceTime call.
And were you with your sister when she was on a FaceTime call with the defendant?
I was, yes.
And during that call, did you see Jane on the other end of the FaceTime call?
Yes.
And then subsequently, you saw her when you were in New York for the concert at the Barclays. Is that correct?
Yes.
What, if any, nicknames did you and your sister use for Jane?
We called her niece.
And do you recall how the defendant introduced you and your sister to Jane? No, you went too far.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I didn't get my answer.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know how he introduced me, but he introduced my sister.
Can you see it?
Government.
Government. Shay?
Oh, Shay's gone. I don't see her there.
Okay, she fell off. Okay, I'll read it till she come back in. Were you present there for that conversation? Objection.
Overruled.
I went to direct. Oh, no, that's you.
Okay. I want to
Sorry.
direct your attention to September 25th of 2018. Hold on. I heard a beep. Oh, there she go.
Okay, sorry, I accidentally clicked myself out.
Okay, go ahead. So go ahead and start at the top of the
Where it
page.
says buy goodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, were you present for that conversation?
Objection.
Overruled.
I want to direct your attention to September 25th of 2018. Do you recall where you were that day?
No.
I'm showing the defendant what's been marked for identification as 540K, and I'm going to direct your attention to where my pen is pointed. Can you read that?
It says okay.
Does it refresh your recollection as to where you were?
Yes, yeah.
Where were you?
In New York.
Are these in evidence?
This is not. This was just to refresh your recollection. And why were you in New York?
For Rob's concert.
And was that concert at the Barclays?
Yes.
Where did you go after the concert? Do you know where the Barclays is?
Yes.
Where is it?
Brooklyn.
Here in Brooklyn, New York?
Yes.
And where did you go after Brooklyn? Did you continue to travel or did you go somewhere else with the defendant?
Yes.
Where did you go?
From New York to DC.
And how did you travel between New York and DC?
On a Sprinter.
And how about your sister? I You testified earlier that you was your sister in Brooklyn with you,
Yes.
and did she travel to DC with you?
No.
What did she do?
She went back to the airport.
And did you then meet her in DC,
Yes.
or did she return to DC? How did you get from from New York to DC?
On the Sprinter.
Who's Sprinter?
Rob Sprinter.
Who, if anyone else, was on the Sprinter with you from that trip between New York and DC?
Jane. And Rob was on and off.
The defendant was on and off during the trip between New York and DC. Is that correct?
Correct.
What, if anything, did you observe about Jane during that trip?
She slept most of the trip.
Did she get off the Sprinter van? Did you answer, or are you thinking?
I'm thinking. Only when we made one particular stop that I recall.
And which stop are you recalling? Where did you stop?
I think it was Best Buy
And did you recall why you were at the Best Buy?
to purchase a computer
For whom?
for Jane.
And who purchased the computer for Jane? Who paid for that?
I believe Rob did.
And by the way, when you said that the defendant was on and off the Sprinter van, what do you mean by that?
Part of the way on the Sprinter, and then he would get on the tour bus. He got on the tour bus at some point.
What, if anything, did you hear Jane call the defendant during that trip?
Daddy.
Once you arrived in DC, what did you do?
Checked into a hotel, and then I flew out the next morning.
And do you recall why you were in DC?
I believe he had a show.
In DC?
Yes.
And you then returned to Los Angeles. Is that correct?
Correct.
Were you living in Los Angeles at the time?
Yes.
Now, when you started to, at the time when you traveled with Jane from New York to DC, were you formally working for the defendant at that time?
No.
But you did later start to formally work for him. Is that correct?
Correct.
When did you start to formally work for him? Were there females who were effectively living with the defendant?
Yes.
And was Jane one of those females?
Yes.
I'm showing you what's in evidence as Government Exhibit 69B.
Exhibit published.
Do you recognize that individual?
Yes.
What is her first name only?
Dominique.
And do you know her true first and last name without saying it?
Yes.
Was Dominique one of the females effectively living with the defendant when you started to formally work for him?
Yes.
I'm showing you what's in evidence as Government Exhibit 52B.
Exhibit published.
Do you recognize that individual?
Yes.
Without saying it, do you know her true first and last name?
Yes.
Do you also know a nickname for her?
Yes.
What is her nickname?
Juice.
And when you started to formally work for the defendant, was Juice one of the females who were effectively living with him?
Yes.
I'm showing the witness what's in the evidence as Government Exhibit 72.
Exhibit published.
Do you recognize the individual shown in Government Exhibit 72?
Yes.
And do you know her true first and last name?
Yes.
And do you also know a nickname for her?
Yes.
What is her nickname?
V.
And was V one of the females who was effectively living with the defendant when you started to work for him formally?
Yes.
Ooh. And I'm showing you what's in evidence as Government Exhibit, can you scroll, 78.
Exhibit published.
Okay, we can't see it. Okay. Do you recognize that individual?
Yes.
And without saying it, do you know her first and last name?
Yes.
What is her first name?
Joycelyn.
During the period that you were working for the defendant, what was her relationship with the defendant?
A girlfriend.
Was she living with him at the time that you worked for the defendant?
Not immediately, no.
And during any point during the 8-month period that you were formally working for the defendant, was she effectively living with the defendant?
She was transitioning in at the end when I was leaving, right before I left.
And when you say transitioning, what do you mean?
She was moving in, I guess you could say.
And prior to that time, what was her relationship with the defendant?
She was the girlfriend who would fly in and out to visit.
And did you sometimes arrange for her travel to see the defendant?
Yes.
Now, what if any rules did the defendant tell you about during your employment with him?
Just one was to knock before entering rooms and then not to talk to any guys around his girlfriends.
Now, from the time that you first met the defendant, and did you say the late 90s,
Yes.
until you started formally working for him, had you met some of the men who worked for and associated with the defendant?
Yes.
And had you become friendly with them?
Yes.
And when the defendant told you that he didn't want you to interact with those individuals, what did you understand him to mean?
Only not to interact with them around his girlfriends.
So it's fair to say that you were free under the defendant's rule to interact with them as long as the defendant's girlfriends were not present.
Yes.
Did you interact with any of the defendant's girlfriends by telephone?
Yes.
Who did you interact with?
Juice.
Did you have an opportunity other than Jane to hear how the defendant's girlfriend referred to the defendant in his presence?
Yes.
What did they call him?
Daddy.
All of them?
Yes.
How did the defendant's female guests and living girlfriends refer to the defendant when they were talking about him to you?
Mr. Kelly.
And would all of them do that?
Yes.
I'm showing you what is the government offers for OU. I think this is one that there's no objection to.
All right. No objections, right, counsel?
No.
That is in evidence.
Exhibit 240, received in evidence.
Now, are these text messages that you sent on September 27th of 2015?
Yes.
Are these messages that you exchanged with your twin sister?
Yes.
And in the column marked name, does that indicate your twin sister and her telephone number?
Yes.
And we're going to cover up her telephone number so it can be published to the jury so it can be published to the jury or the public. I think they can't.
Exhibit published.
And the first text where she says yes, sir, no, sir to him. He makes them respect him. Do you recall who you're referring to? The she?
Jane.
And who was the he of that sentence?
Rob.
And then continuing on, you say, and daddy. So I figured that's why he told her, we are her aunties because we are his sisters. Who is the her in that sentence?
Jane.
And the his?
Rob.
Is this a good time to take a break? I think I've got us right to 6 o'clock.
Sure.
So the witness can step out. We'll see you tomorrow.
Witness
Ladies
steps
and
down.
gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break for tonight. I will see you tomorrow morning, same time. Don't talk about the case in any way, shape, form. Don't look at it. Don't look up anything about the case. Don't listen to any reports about it or read anything about it. Anything like that. Do have a good night. I will see you tomorrow morning. Thank you so much.
All rise. The jury exits.
Everybody can have a seat. Is there anything that we have to do before we break for the day?
Nothing from us, Your Honor.
Okay.
Can we just address one issue at sidebar?
No.
The reporter isn't needed
sorry,
for
my
this.
fault. Sorry.
The reporter
Can we
isn't
just
needed.
can we just address one issue at sidebar?
The reporter isn't needed for this.
No, Your Honor. It's just for scheduling purposes.
Okay, thank you.
Matters adjourned. And that's it. That's it for day 16. That's it for day 16. Yeah. Man, great job, ladies. Thank y'all.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you.
So tomorrow we getting into day 16. That was day 15. It's 16, then it's 17. Then we got a couple more days, and then we going into the closing and the opening for the defense. That's when the defense stuff comes in. So listen, y'all did an amazing job tonight. Thank you so much. I know some of y'all got to get to work tomorrow. As soon as I get up here, I got to finish some work for tomorrow morning. But thank y'all so much. Y'all did an excellent job.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Everybody have a
you.
great night.
I will see y'all tomorrow. For anyone, if y'all want to log off or clock off, y'all can. Thank y'all so much. So
Thank
tomorrow
you.
morning, y'all, I'll be back here 8 o'clock in the morning doing the morning show. If y'all get some time, come check it out. I promise you'll enjoy it. We talk about a lot of interesting things. I give y'all recaps on what's going on with this RKelly stuff or anything that comes out overnight. And then, so yeah, that's what it is. Don't forget that we're going to go live tomorrow early to get into day 16. And then tomorrow night, we're going to have our interview, a live interview with Lizette Martinez. If y'all want to ask questions for her in the chat, you'll be able to do that. You know, she's really a sweet lady. She really has a big heart. I think y'all really enjoy her interview. I'm going to try her to come live on the screen. Been talking to her about that. But other than that, y'all, I will see y'all tomorrow. Let me see. Tomorrow is, let me look at something. Because I might be able to come on, y'all, early tomorrow. Like, I'll give y'all a choice. Do y'all want me to come on tomorrow at, let's say 3:30 or 4:30? I'll let y'all choose. 3:30 or 4:30. Majority wins. 3:30 or 4:30. Majority wins for tomorrow. We're going to start day 16. 3:30 or 4:30 for the transcripts. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. Y'all ladies did an excellent job. Thank y'all so much. That was awesome. Y'all got in the character and everything. That was awesome. 3:30 or 4:30 tomorrow, y'all. Okay, we got 3:30, 3:30, 4:30, 3:30. Oh, we got 3:30 killing it right now. 4:30. Okay. It's even. 4. Okay. Let me see some more. 3:30, 3:30, 4:30. Okay, I'll check you out. 3:30. Vote only. Please only vote once. Yeah, please only vote once, please. 333. Purple said 33333. Oh, it's looking like 3:30. It's like it's a tie, y'all. It's like it's a tie. 4:30. Okay. 4:30. 4. Oh, the 4:30 is coming back strong. The 4:30 is coming back strong. There's a 3:30. 3:45. West Coast Bells with 3:45. All right, y'all. How about this? It looks like it's right in the middle. So I'll try to make everybody happy. How about tomorrow? I'll come on at 4 o'clock. It like it's about a tie, honestly. Let's just do 4 o'clock, y'all. 4 o'clock tomorrow. I'll be back. If some of my readers can be here too, if you can. I know it's hard because y'all be working. So y'all be sneaking on the. I'm on the phone. Okay, I got you. So tomorrow, 4 o'clock, your boy will be here. Okay, so be here tomorrow at 4. Y'all have a blessed night. Get y'all some rest. Those that'll be here in the morning, I will see y'all tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock for Atmos in the morning. We got some things to talk. Oh, Riri said she off. Riri, since you off tomorrow, can you read tomorrow at 4? That would be awesome. Shay said she'll be here. Okay, great. So I got me some great readers coming on. That's awesome. Elijah said 97 baby girl. Look that name on her IG. Oh, by the way, y'all, if y'all could follow me on Twitter. I be having some deep messages on Twitter. Go to Atmos _ Love Zone on Twitter. So it's Atmos _ Love Zone. Y'all follow me on Twitter. Yeah, follow me on Twitter if you would. Atmos _ Love Zone. Okay. Let me make sure I got that right because I got right here. Where you at? Yes, Atmos at Atmos _ Love Zone. So y'all please follow me on there. Okay, listen, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. I will see y'all tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning for y'all early risers. If you're not an early riser, I will see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock to start day 16. All right, love y'all. Y'all have a great night. Peace out.
Oh, 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 no.
I don't need negative energy, wrap me in positive synergy. I have been doubted through life, been there and done that with trifling people who told me my style would not work. I told them they wrong, they're struggling too long. This song is for you, I'm proving you wrong. Get out my way, get out my way, get out my way, get out my way.
I'm a genuine person. Like if I love you, I love you. If I don't mess with you, I don't mess with you. It's as simple as that.